Ooh-wee! Welcome to Saturday in Week 4 of the World Doom League Summer 2021 season. I am Xenaero, and I am joined by KBlair. How are you doing, Blair?
I'm doing great, Xenaero. I'm ready for this nice game against Wasted Potential versus the Deimos Patriots on this early Saturday evening. Nice and cool out there. Great weather for some staying inside and watching some Doom.
Hell
This
yeah. Oh, go ahead. I'm walking all over you. Continue. By all means, continue.
Both these teams are have the same record going into Week 4 or 5, so their feet is to the fire right now.
Yes, they are.
That was it. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, welcome to World Doom League. It's we're getting off. We're waking up basically. We're rolling out of bed. We're just getting started on the cast. Gonna be showing off Wasted Potential versus Deimos Patriots. Blair, why don't you lead off on Wasted Potential?
So, Wasted Potential. Last week they lost 2-0 to Domain. So that means they sit at 1 win, 2 losses going into Week 4, and of course our regular season only has 5 weeks, so they have this week and next week to get the train back on the tracks and hopefully, take the choo-choo down to Championship Town. Last week, Alpha ran. He had 0 points on 34 touches, but he did have 3 assists, so he did help his team get the flags out. Ed played mid with 3 points and 27 flag defenses, so it was a little bit of mix of mid and D. And of course, that's just Prime played defense with 30 flag defenses. Now, Wasted Potential, they work together well as a unit, but a runner bringing in 0 flags really lessens the pressure on the other team's defense. This is something they've been struggling with for 2 weeks now. Now, matching up against the Deimos Patriots, Wasted Potential will need to limit Nautilus's agile running ability, and we'll get into him a little bit later. It was a quick game time drop and add to get Nautilus. He has the ability to run, and he has the ability to rocket jump, and it'll split spawn. That's just Prime, the defender for Wasted Potential. Obviously, he's going to need to play defense on an island here in order to help his runner, which should be Alpha. Help his runner make room at his mid to again have some room to operate. Now, Alpha is going to need to run him some flags himself. Again, this is something they struggle with 2 weeks in a row. Alpha, as the main runner, has not brought in a flag by himself. In order to be a real threat to that defense and take pressure off of your defense, you're going to need to bring some flags in by yourself. And finally, we get to Ed, the boy wonder. Unfortunately, this week he's going to serve a demo penalty. So they're going to get a 5-minute power play on the first round. Ed doesn't have to serve that penalty, but someone does. So it'll be 2 versus 3 that first round. That could be a key going into this matchup, as it might be close, and that might be the decider. Now, Xenaero, I'm going to flip it over to you to tell us about the blue team this week. What can you tell us about the Deimos Patriots?
I most certainly will tell you about that team, but as a slight correction, the power play lasts for 3 minutes or a capture, whichever happens first. So Wasted Potential will be suffering a little bit of a disadvantage going into the round 1 of this game. But talking about the Deimos Patriots, well, they had a 2-0 loss to Onslaught last week. Both teams have an identical record of 1 win, 2 losses, and 0 ties. Last week, Team Captain Turska, played a mid of defense, or a mixture of mid and defense, with 0 captures off 7 touches and a 16 flag defenses. Former teammate, I'm 1 HP, U0 played a mix of mid and D as well. So we might be seeing last second pickup Nautilus filling that role if he is fielded in this game. Ion was their main runner last week with 28 touches and 1 PCAP. They have the talent to win this league, proven in week 1, but they've had a bad stretch. Can they recover for the playoffs? Now, they can still make playoff berth if they win out this week. So look for them to employ some very risky but possibly rewarding tactics. Matching up against Wasted Potential, Deimos Patriots will need to answer for Ed. Though he's serving a penalty, he might still play because the power play, the first penalty for a team, for a player rather, their team is just going to have to sit a player. So he may still be on the field, but he'll be relatively alone. Turska may need to play hard defense here to help his team win, but you should also be allowing players to play a full game without changing positions to learn from potential mistakes. But hey, Turska's a wild man. You never know what's going to happen on the Deimos Patriots. We might be expecting Ion to run. This map suits him as the agile runner he is. And as we mentioned before, I'm 1 HP U0, was traded to the free agency for Nahus. So he's being asked for a lot in his rookie WDL debut, but will be a wild card for the Patriots. Now, we talked about the map, and you saw a little bit of it in the countdown timer screen. But well, let's get into how the map actually looks out and how it flows.
Welcome to Map 12, Heavy Weapon Dudes. Map 12 is an offensive heavy map with a BFG on cooldown in the middle. Behind the flag in each base there is a tunnel that will lead directly to the middle of the map. On the perimeter of the map there is an upper route that will shield you from gunfire down below. Matches are played in a best-of-3 format, where the team that scores 5 flag captures, or the team with the most flag captures at the end of 10 minutes, is the winner.
And that is Map 12. It's a pretty unique map, wouldn't you say, Blair?
Certainly is. This is the first map in WDL history that has a BFG in it. So interesting, it's a completely new dynamic for these players to adapt to, and that's why I love it so much.
Right now, I'm trying to actually find the broadcast server. Is that server list is not working at the moment, but yeah, this map is pretty offensive heavy. We've seen a lot of teams struggle with being able to play on that map. But we'll be getting into the broadcast server in just a second here. And we do have a correction on Nahulus's record. He hasn't played in the World Doom League, but he is a International Doom League, the precursor league to the WDL. He was on a championship with Turska in 2013, so teammates crossing paths once again.
Yeah, what a storyline that would be if they could link up and become championship caliber again.
Absolutely. And we are in the broadcast server. Deimos Patriots are on the team, and we're just waiting for Waste to Potential to show up. It's a little bit past game time, but Waste to Potential, again, they do have to serve that 3-minute or 1 capture penalty. Now, how do you think that's going to affect them, Blair?
So I don't really think it's going to affect them too much. Waste Potential is a pretty high-octane, high-offense sort of team. Even if Alpha doesn't bring flags in, I mean, it's Ed is just absolutely insane and can create his own plays and create room for his players. So they might get a 1 flag disadvantage, but I don't expect that to last very long.
Now, one thing to point out with the BFG, it is on a cooldown, a 30-second cooldown. So you run up to the switch in the middle, you gotta grab the BFG, and you end up on an upper teleporter pad out here. So that is something that teams are going to have to consider. Another indicator that the BFG has been taken are these pillars in the back of each base. Sorry, they are going to these pillars will no longer be exposed if the BFG is on cooldown. So something to consider as a player and a spectator.
I like that as a design choice because it allows the defender to also time the BFG. Tell your mid and runner when it's up. I mean, it's a nice little design feature.
We're just waiting for the rest of Waste Potential to show up into the server. I hope you're all doing well on this Saturday. If you're curious about the games coming up tomorrow, this is the only game on Saturday, but there are more games happening tomorrow, and you can see the times for those on doomleague.org and click the matches link up top. Very top hotbar of the website. Good times.
Yes, and if you wonder which time zone these times are in, well, it's yours. It's your time zone, my friend.
Your whole time zone. All the match times translated to your local time for your benefit and to ease the pressure on your brain cells. That's what we're all about here at the World Doom League.
Yeah, dates are hard. They're hard to manage.
Apparently game times are hard to manage too. We don't know where the rest of Wasted Potential is. That's just Prime is... He's here. Where's the team?
Yeah, the server's holding a public court with That's Just Prime. They're like, where's your team? And he's just, in here defenseless.
Just shrugs.
Shame, really.
They're on their way, I think. Got the letter. Show up here at this certain place, What more do you want from me?
So also it's possible to jump into the split spawn. There's a spawn in each base that can go to either mid or the, your own base. It's actually possible to SR50 jump into that, but it's really difficult. But it's a great place to hide with the flag.
There are a couple of good spots to hang out on, especially if you're the flag runner. And we'll kind of look at those here in a second as we wait for the rest of Wasted Potential to show up to their game time. It's tough enough to herd all the cacks required to get a match underway, especially with a team like Deimos Patriots, who a lot of their players are in Europe. So it's tough to get that game going, at least on time.
Yes, I get excited when just games happen on time. I mean, that's just a modern marvel in today's competitive landscape.
Yeah, there are a couple upper platforms. Like you can jump to this one over here by on kind of opposite the beginning of the upper route. A couple med kicks there for a runner in dire need, or even a player who is looking to grab the flag and got wounded on their way through mid. Other than that, a couple green armors here and there. 2 on each side of the base. A rocket launcher in the caverns. A rocket launcher at a mid too, although I don't see many players grabbing this rocket launcher here. A lot of the focus will happen in kind of this big center area, where you can also jump up these, they're not traditional stairs. No, sir. You can jump up them and head directly to the top here, especially if your team is telling you, hey, there's a runner out up top. But while we were talking, Wasted Potential is here. They have to sit a player.
Yeah, I don't think they know that it's going to join all 3 of them this next round.
Pretty sure. Well. Oh, and we're off with Ed and That's Just Prime. So when that timer hits 7 minutes or a capture against Wasted Potential occurs, then the bench will be well, not bench will be cleared, but rather their third will join. And that was a couple flags returned at mid there. Prime with a touch. Try to go through the lower area. Runs into his teammate and the flag kicks returned as the defender catches up. Ion. Out to mid. Sees the other carrier. Returns his own flag. Says, get the hell out of my way. I'm scoring this. And now Alpha is able to rejoin. He does. It's now 3v3 again. Now 1-0 in favor of Deimos Patriots. Turska has the flag out to mid. 25 health. Not enough. Flag returned.
The power play only lasting 40 seconds.
Prime's got the flag. He's out to mid. But gets blasted in the back. No problem. Flag returned. Prime with another touch. Forgoes the armor. Hops across the top.
Nice movement.
Pretty solid run up top, but the flag has to get returned back, and he saw an enemy at the base. Excellent frag to secure the base. Clears out the base on his way out. Great score from That's Just Prime for Wasted Potential. 1-1 in the first round.
It looks like Prime is running this time. Usually a defensive player.
Yeah, this map does not favor traditionally defensive players. BFG comes out for That's Just Prime, which forces Ion to drop the flag. And there are narrow corridors. Teammates are running into each other straight up, which can cost you precious seconds and a lot of momentum. Prime barely gets up top on the insta-lift, but the flag is returned anyways. Not enough hard cover for him. Ion with full health. Doubles back. Red players don't realize he's directly behind him, practically breathing down their neck. Takes him up the path. All three members of Wasted Potential, however, intercept him right there. Ion dropping into the Shark Pit. Shark Pit? Shark Tank? We do things differently here. Ion, out to middle. But chased. A little BFG action from Turska there.
Yeah, the Sharks got him on that one. They tore him to pieces. But that was some pretty good sneak action.
The flag dropped by Ed does get picked up by the Extra Prime before it is eventually returned. It's a mutual return, I believe. Ion tried to clear his path with some rockets, but to no avail. Turska with a touch. Team captain, the Deimos Patriots. Doesn't get very far.
Three minutes gone. I mean, mid-fight's pretty even after the penalty.
Yeah, Wasted Potential was even able to score once they had a full crew. Ion does have low health and was cornered up top. Just because the upper route shields you from fire down below doesn't mean they can't just run up there and chase you down like the dog you are. Carrier is not able to get very far off the pedestal. Each team being pretty attentive. We just witnessed Prime just grab the PFG, clearing a path into the base. And yes, Classic Doom is such that even if you can free look, which is allowed, the BFG ball always fires perfectly vertical. Or rather, without any verticality. Ion does frag his way through mid, gets 2 swift kills. And a little bit extra cover from Turska allows him to score 2-1 in favor of Deimos Patriots.
That was impressive cover by Turska there. I mean, he got just a double kill in mid, and as well as runner was going through. I mean, it doesn't get easier than that.
And Nautilus, they picked up last second so that Deimos Patriots could play with a full roster. Has synergy with Turska winning a championship in the International Doom League many years ago. And does an excellent shot from below. Tries to return the flag, but he gets picked up by Ed, who runs into the carrier directly opposite him.
Wow.
And multiple members of the Patriots come swooping down to return their flag, which is back at their base, but Ion doesn't have a whole lot of health to make this work. Valiant effort. Prime playing a little lift hopscotch there. Gets out to mid before it gets intercepted. Some work from Prime with the BFG. No luck there with the tracers. Ed is across and at his base. It does get dropped though. Not enough health. Ion scoring 3-1. Excellent work. Alpha. Oh no, it's Ed who has the flag. And takes the back route from mid. Kind of foregoing any chance of getting intercepted by the enemy team on the way to the pedestal. Taking the back route to the flag. That might have been the first time we've seen it this game. Prime with the BFG.
Yeah, it's putting up some monster stats already. He's nearing 50 frags. He's got 2 flags already.
Alright, nice flag for the Patriots, but there's 2 people at mid. Super Shotgun can't reload that quickly. Prime does pick it up and takes it to the stand 3-3, tied up with less than 4 minutes left to go in round 1. It's been pretty back and forth.
Gotta give it to Wasted Potential. They're not getting rattled, and they're playing smart.
Yeah, frags overall fairly even. A discrepancy of 7 in favor of Wasted Potential. Now dropped to 4 by the time we got done talking about that. Ion with 5 health. Those med kicks coming in handy. Just goes right through the mid. He's got coverage. Turska doing excellent work at mid. But Ed is on his way to return the flag. Excellent work from Ion. Hearing the reloading of the super shotgun from Ed. Pre-fires a rocket and catches him in the teeth.
Expertly done. Knew he was going to come around that corner sharp, too.
Great run from Ion, bringing it to 4-3 in the first round. Both flags cleared. Alpha jumps up and returns his own flag, but then it gets returned by Nautilus, who picks up the enemy flag and then returns it at just as Alpha was about to score. An excellent counter run. A counter punch from Naut, who drops right before the pedestal. Turska picks it up and escorts it the remaining 2 inches to the flag. DP wins 5-3 in the first round. Ridiculous play. And well done by Nautilus.
Oh, man. Welcome to the league, Nautilus. What an expert play. The very last flag of the game gets he returns the tying score, and he says, you know what? I'm going to cover myself on this run and score the winning flag. You love to see it.
Great work from Deimos Patriots to really string it together, especially with Nautilus being a last-second pickup. They were able to get a practice round in, I think the last minute before game time, and they're doing very well right now. I mean, Wasted Potential did suffer that power play, but at the end of the day, they were not able to recover. What will they do for round 2?
This is their first round win in 2 weeks, so they must be really, really happy about this one. Securing at least 1 point.
That's true. The World Doom League is during a regular season, it's a best of 3. It can be pushed to a 3rd round if a game ends up in a tie as well.
The team's really defensive starting off.
And Gary's not able to get far from the pedestal. Ed does break away, but he's very low health, trying to cut those corners to avoid the player behind him, but there's a player in front. Prime does pick it up. Meanwhile, Ion is across, got 55. Prime is being chased, I believe. He does neutralize the player behind him. And runs past mid, but oh, not far enough. Turska with armor and health. Goes to far side around that middle pillar. Burns the player at mid. And Deimos Patriots take an early lead in the first minute of round 2. Ed. Running as fast as he can. Goes up top. But turns around and stops, exposing himself to the players below. It kind of looks like Wasted Potential is on the back foot right now, Blair.
Yeah, that's what it certainly seems like. Alpha seems to just be getting crushed in mid. Prime's getting flags out, but Ed's doing a lot, but it's just not enough. Need Alpha to cover this mid here. Get some of these flags out.
Ion does have the flag, but he's got pretty low health. It won't take much to drop him. And down he goes. Watching Ed go through the tunnels out to mid. 2 players waiting for him, however. Prime's going to take a route 2 here. Ooh, gets 1. The flag still dropped. It got returned.
It looks like Alpha switched to D here. So that's going to be a change they're going to have to deal with.
Ion unable to get through mid. A lot of players out mid this round. They're being a lot more careful about it. Prime picks it up briefly, but too many players out there.
Yeah, they're getting good flags out, but that mid fight is just eternally being won by Deimos Patriots.
Turska playing very well in a mid support role. Whenever his carrier is about to come out to mid, it's typically clear. He's doing a very good job controlling it power-wise. Ion does have the flag. Alpha looked like he wasn't aware the flag was taken.
It looked like Alpha might be disconnecting. Or having an issue.
Yeah, going over to Alpha. Although his team scores without him. It's 1-1 now. So while Alpha's maybe suffering connection issues or may have stepped away from the computer, Ion with rocket coverage directly behind him. And does score the flag 2-1 now in the second round. If Wasted Potential can't pull it together, they will be losing in a 2-0. Ion does have the flag. And just couldn't make it past the enemy team there.
Yeah, that was not a false wall. That was a solid wall that he ran into and died.
The walls don't move in Doom. Well,
yes.
Usually, anyways. Ed does have some armor, enough health to get to the pedestal, but for how long? And the runner does go down. And excellent work from Turska, who currently has the flag, got dropped, but returning your own flag at the edge of the enemy base is always worth it. Always worth a mutual return in that scenario.
Turska getting a BFG just to deny it to Wasted Potential.
That's just Prime. Huh. That's just dead. Never mind. Ion trying to get the lift to work. And does seem to... Oh, I thought he was going to burn the defender there. He did not. But while we were watching Ion, Prime flew through the map. 17 health. The armor saving him. That 1/3 damage reduction the green armor gives you allows him to tie it up 2-2 in the second round. And Ed does get out to middle. Can it get picked up? It cannot.
Yeah, Prime and Ed are doing a much better job with the tandem running / mid support that they've been doing. Getting a lot more flags out to mid.
Yeah, this map is, it has a lot of options for a runner to move around, requiring defense to be a lot more alert and have a lot more mid support than you would see in a traditionally laid out map. It really is up to Wasted Potential to win this second round so that they can tie it up going into round 3. But Ion... Oh, Ion almost makes it to the flag stand.
What a great last minute save by Ed.
Prime intercepted too by Ion. Excellent return there. Prime with the BFG. Clearing out the base, or at least trying to. Nala's trying to defend with rockets from a side angle.
That looks good.
Relatively untouched. The flag does get returned. Turska tries to get out through mid to the same way, kind of carriers rubbing shoulders. Ed does make it out. He's gone. If they can return that, that's a score, and it is. 3 minutes left on the clock. Wasted Potential up by 1 in the second round. This is where they need to be if they want to force a third round, where they can potentially play for a win.
First time they've been up this game. Let's see if they can hold on. We're going to force a third round here.
Ion covers himself, going out to mid, but wounded. Finally drops to Ed. But he's not deterred. He's going for another touch. This time takes an upper route. Knows someone spawned behind him. Heard that spawn far away. And oh, the coverage isn't there. That flag might get returned, and Prime returns it up top while running his own flag. Great return from Prime. While Ion's got armor. He just needs to weave his way back to the base. Prime does have health. I'm not sure the Patriots know where Prime is right now. Seemingly not, but Prime does escape back into the tunnels. While Ion's caught in combat with multiple members of Wasted Potential. The flag does get returned.
Oh!
Prime drops
Prime!
one carrier. Can he get the second?
He has help. Oh!
He's got help this time. A carrier came back in. Oh my god. And he drops and the flag's returned. Not with 5 health.
Just couldn't make the kill in time. That's all it was.
Ed waiting for the all clear, waiting for the action to clear out at mid to make his own move. But 2 members of the Patriots do get to show up there and return a flag for Ion to capture it. 3-3 now. It's tied up. Under 2 minutes left. Wasted Potential needs to get something together here if they want to force a favorable round 3 so that they can play for a win rather than play for a tie. Major pickups from Wasted Potential here. This is what they need. They need to clear. They need to cover it. His teammate operating as a meat shield, allowing Alpha to score it 4-3 in the second round.
Yep, great cover.
And great work from the Patriots there to try to chain it out to mid, but Alpha there just laid waste to every member of that team. Prime with 5 health and a Dream needs it cleared.
Oh!
It's cleared. Can it get picked up? It gets returned last second. Almost got chained to their own pedestal. Ion does have armor. He has the lift. That upper route does help a lot in obscuring the player. If you can return it. Oh, baby.
Oh,
last second
wow.
return from Ed. What a phenomenal return. Preventing the Patriots from tying up the game. All through the eyes of Ion. Heartbreaker.
Yeah, 15 seconds is going to be the last run here.
It's definitely going to be the last run for Wasted Potential. And might be the last couple possessions in the entire round. Does get returned. And, oh, it's a mutual return. This is going to be the result of round 2. Wasted Potential resets the series. Now it's 1-1. Going into the third round, anything can happen. We can have any result. We can have Deimos Patriots win. We can have Wasted Potential win. Or we could have a series tie. It all comes down to the third round.
We love it when it comes down to the last round.
A week 4 slugfest.
If Wasted Potential wants to win this, they're going to need Alpha or whoever their defender is in round 3 to calm it down. They need to stay in the base. If you're beat, then just set up for the next one. Like they were letting Ion get way too many touches, even though they did squeak out a win. He was getting pretty, you're really gonna have a bad time if you let a runner get to their base with 100-100.
Yeah, it affords them a lot of utility, really. I mean, the green armor reduces damage by 1/3. So if the runner's far away and you just peppering him, they're going to get a lot more mileage out of that flag run. Going into round 3 of Wasted Potential and Deimos Patriots. Here we go. Ed with the first touch of the third round. And Ion with the first touch for the Patriots, but it does get returned. Ooh. Ed has a tiny bit of armor. It'll help him initially, but he needs that cover. He gets dropped at the very edge of the flag, and Alpha picks it up and takes it the rest of the way. An early score for Wasted Potential. And Ed is waiting again at that top edge of the tunnel route. Runs into the carrier, but it gets returned. Turska can barely get by. Ion, low health. They need to pick up that flag. Ion does, but there's someone in front of him. Needs that carrier drop. Oh! And it's excellent work from Nautilus and Prime. I'm sorry, not just Nautilus, I believe, to return that flag and do a pickup capture. Ed tries to take it across the top route here. They need that flag returned. Nautilus delays it in just as much as he can, but there's too many members to waste the potential. It's now 2-1. In the third round. Play. It's a slugfest. I mean, we're not even 2 minutes into the game. Or into the final round. Teams trading flags like crazy.
We have huge plays coming in by both sides. Nautilus again. First round, he was the hero, getting the capture or the return and capture. And then he's the hero again early in this one.
Both flags out. Turska and Ed, the carries for their respective teams. Turska with good glide out, but catches on a little bit of detail. Flags returned for Wasted Potential, where Ed promptly scores it. Prime with a back-to-back touch. Does get returned, allowing Turska to kind of finagle his way out to mid. There's a lot of players chasing him though, and the flag does get returned. Whew. A lot of stuff happening in the third round here.
Hard to believe only 2 minutes and 20 seconds have elapsed so far. It's
Both
1-3
teams going
scoreline.
ham. We have a margin of 2 in favor of Wasted Potential. It's like I don't think we've seen a margin of greater than 1 so far across all 3 rounds.
Oh,
Turska might score this. 25 health, but he had enough distance and the coverage from his team at mid, reducing that margin there behind to 1. Prime has a full stack. Gets caught in the corner. Flag is returned. Ion out to middle. All momentum stopped by an enemy player.
hard to bounce back after you get blocked that hard.
Yeah, Doomguy does have inertia. You can't get up to top speed that quickly. Ed kind of set up by that BFG switch. Kind of a good spot when you're facing imminent death. Make them work a little bit harder to return the flag. Ion facing down 2 enemy members of the team.
Oh man, they just keep spawning in mid.
It's a party out at mid. Members of Wasted Potential chasing the enemy flag carrier. They do return it, allowing Prime to get a touch of his own. But completely intercepted underneath. Oh my god. Players are very, very aware of that back route, that tunnel route.
Yeah, that was a tough break for Wasted Potential because they almost had that flag out, but Deimos Patriots spawned at least 4 times in that mid spawn. Hard to get a flag out when that happens.
Prime doesn't get very far there. I mean, both teams playing pretty crazy so far. Wasted Potential has a margin of about 15 frags ahead of the Deimos Patriots. And it's made a little bit of difference in terms of control and how well they can get into the enemy base and get out with the flag. But a margin of one flag capture doesn't mean a whole lot. At least until that timer hits 0.
Especially on this map, it can go either way very quickly. It can also
Ion
get
gets
out of
in.
hand very quickly.
Ion almost burned. He did burn the defender. He was pretty much free and clear. If there was no one at mid, that would have been a capture.
Five minutes gone already in the last round.
Ed with another low health touch. Ooh, tries to intercept an enemy player there. Kind of cover himself, but doesn't land the shot. Ion does have full armor. That might be helpful. It's a body block by Turska. Alpha's directly behind a great rocket from Ion. The enemy carrier does return the flag, however.
Heads up play by Prime. He died immediately after, so made the right play.
Ed took the back route there. He went through mid while no one was looking. Took the back route into his own base. Now 4-2 in favor of Wasted Potential. They need one more flag, and they walk away with this with a 3-round victory, which gets them 3 points on the board. If you're the Patriots, what do you do here? You have 4 minutes left. You're down by 2 flags. It's pretty much sudden death for you. Ed is in the back of his own base. The flag's returned, and he scores 5-2 in the final round. Wasted Potential coming away with this with a victory.
Just nice job by Wasted Potential. They adjusted. They came in, with a little adversity, having the demo penalty, but they were able to pull it together. They made mid-game adjustments that worked very well. I mean, they put Alpha on D, and he was able to do enough to get the W here. So, very good job by Wasted Potential.
Not only that, but we saw a phenomenal performance from Nautilus, who really got picked last second up by the Deimos Patriots to fill out their roster. And the plays that Naut was making are nothing to sneeze at. I mean, Deimos Patriots may have lost this game, but they look like a pretty strong team overall.
Yeah, it's really hard to understate or overstate how hard it is to come in as a WDR rookie. Maybe an hour before the game to play. And he did well. He had a couple hero plays. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. Wasted Potential pulling out the W here.
That's right. Deimos Patriots eating another loss. Their playoff berth looking a little bit farther away, but they do get one more point on the board. However, they will not be walking away the victors of this 3-round series. But still, well played. I mean, that's the kind of game that you love to see. You love to see it go to a 3-rounder. And, I mean, until the very end, it was up in the air. You really didn't know what team was going to come out on top on map 12. An excellent showing of the map's viability for offensive play. And, we saw a little bit of BFG action for the first time in World Doom League history. So, that's about all there is. Blair, is there anything you want to lead off on before we play everybody out?
Yeah. Here's something to lead off on. My team, the Superchargers, are number 1 in the league. Woo!
Oh my god. That's true. If you look at the leaderboard, Superchargers are the only team with 4 wins, 0 ties, and 0 losses. They are undefeated, and they're going to be looking for a perfect season next week. They have already played their Week 4 game, but time will tell if the Chargers make a successful playoff run and earn a title. We're not talking about the playoffs just yet. There are more games coming. And as far as where you can find those games, you can find them on doomleague.org/matches. Or click the handy link right there. Now, that'll be it for our Saturday game. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you for watching this very exciting game between Wasted Potential and the Deimos Patriots. And we'll be playing you out. Have a good Saturday, everybody.